All right, Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. Ghislaine Maxwell has hired a lawyer who defended Osama bin Laden's henchman in the past. So
Oh my God.
that's amazing.
What?
Also, we have this new bizarre AI advertisement, and Howard Stern is nearing in on a new deal with SiriusXM. So we will go through all of that. Jay Sabs and Frankie C are here with us on this episode, which is brought to you by our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. Check out their link in the description, and we'll talk about those guys in a little bit. So Ghislaine Maxwell has hired a new lawyer to add to her already robust lawyer team. And this young lady last represented one of Osama bin Laden's henchmen. Bobby Sternheim is her name. Bobby is a Bobbi. She filed papers on Monday in New York Southern District Court to note that she hereby appears as counsel for defendant Ghislaine Maxwell. Sternheim's law firm, Fasulo, Braverman, and DiMaggio, called her a, quote, recognized leader in the local and national criminal defense bar for litigating difficult and complex cases. She is the first and still only woman to get New York Criminal Bar Association's award for excellence in the profession, the firm boasts on her online bio. Her bio notes, Bobby has tried international organized crime and racketeering conspiracies, international terrorism offenses, international telemarketing fraud, capital murder, and interstate transport of pornographic media. And she also holds top secret /SCI clearance.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds important.
The bin Laden henchman is Khalid al-Fawaz, and she represented him and remains representing him in his 2015 trial over the 1998 bombings of 2 U.S. embassies in Africa that killed 224 people.
So he's in jail and she's still his lawyer.
I guess so. I thought that was all said and done. But this is Bobby. Everybody wants to meet Bobby. She looks feisty. She looks difficult. She looks like she wouldn't go down without a fight. Yeah, she looks like she could be a problem.
Hey.
How do you
dealing with some heavy hitters out there?
I want to know how Bobby sleeps at night. Like, that's what I want to know. Like, how do you?
Come on.
I mean, being like a defense attorney must be a difficult thing, you know. But to be like, oh, the terrorist bomber guy, yeah, no problem. I'll take that on.
I'll take him.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, everybody is entitled to a defense, but yeah, that's not an easy gig.
No.
She also represented other terrorists, including Min Kwang Pham, who admitted to a plot of blowing up London's Heathrow Airport and was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
So she's not on a winning streak with these guys.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that when you take on these terrorists as a client, I don't think
expect the greatest outcome.
I don't think you expect to win.
What could their defense be?
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Their defense is either I didn't do it, you got the wrong guy, or
I think let me finish Frank's sentence before him. Yeah, I think their best case. I think their best case scenario is, I'm here to watch this whole trial, make sure you get a fair trial, and if anything happens, any technicality pops up, I'm going to be there to pounce on it.
Yeah.
You all right,
any unusual punishment or anything cruel, anything over the top. There's got to be someone there speaking for them legally.
Legally, somebody's got to sign up for this, right? Like, somebody's got to be there. Like,
they have to.
They can represent themselves. A lot of them can't, so legally, yeah.
But they can turn them down, right? I mean, a defense attorney doesn't have to take the job.
No, a public defender has to take it, I believe, or they have a few, so one of them's got to take it. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, she's
what I'm wondering is, how did she get paid? Like, the terrorist is going to pay her with whatever money, like illegal. I don't know. I'm sure that she's got to get paid somehow, right? Unless it's
No.
And
A lot of them
pro
take the
bono.
case to have a high profile case and not get paid.
that's true. That is true. Some of them will take it because, but they only do that because they know that other people are going to hire them, and then they're going to make a ton more money that way.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, you're still heading down this odd road of just taking blood money, essentially. I mean, who wants to take terrorist money or sex trafficker money for, this?
It's like the people, defending Maxwell or Epstein. You're being paid
Casey
by
Anthony.
people who made their money not in the greatest way.
Casey Anthony, yeah. She is not the only high-profile lawyer that Ghislaine Maxwell has. The 58-year-old British media heiress also hired Christian Everdale, who spent more than a decade as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District Court of New York, and helped bring down drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
Oh.
Wow.
So Christian was
So he
on
was a
the other
prosecutor
side.
there.
He was on the right side on that one, yeah. And then came over to the dark side for this particular case. So we'll see what happens
I
there.
wonder what their defense is. Like what are they going to do? They're going to talk. They're going to sit down with her and go, "All right, here's your defense." And then they have to come out with something. They have to actually come up with a plan. Like it's either plead guilty and get some kind of weird deal, or somehow they're going to have to convince people that she's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a tall order for any attorney.
I mean, I can't imagine another defense other than I was a victim too, and that's why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be it.
Right.
It's got to be.
I was victimized early on at a young age and didn't know any better, and then did all these things. None of it was my fault. Please
And I
let
couldn't
me
get out. I was afraid to get out.
Yep.
I can't imagine what other route is there. I can't even imagine another route. But by the way,
Right.
like we talked to Dylan Howard about this, and we'll put a link in the descriptions on YouTube for that interview. And he believed that Ghislaine was going to cut a deal. I think that this girl coming in means that she's going for it. I don't think she's going to cut a deal.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think you start.
I mean,
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I don't think you start
Absolutely.
bringing on these high-profile lawyers just to cut it. I mean, maybe, but this other guy, Christian's he used to work where she's on trial, so he's already probably got a relationship with all the prosecutors. So if you want to cut a deal and have good graces there, you've already got that element in place.
right. I don't know. I mean, to cut a deal at this, I mean, it's either taking a very long time to come up with this deal, or there's not gonna be a deal.
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. So all right, let's see where we're at. I say no deal. Janine,
No deal.
Frank,
I don't think there's gonna be a deal.
you think they're going right to trial?
With something this heinous of a crime, this how could you cut a deal? It's you give us what you. Well, then what's stopping her from not turning over and giving everything up?
Yeah. So the Epstein probe, Frank, you asked a little while ago if that is still ongoing. It is still ongoing. And prosecutors now who are prosecuting Epstein, okay, even though he's dead, they are trying to prevent Ghislaine's lawyers from getting any information in her trial. So they have a bunch of stuff to turn over. This is not document dump, by the way. This is just discovery. They have a bunch of stuff to turn over to Ghislaine's lawyers, right? They're trying not to give it to her until a couple of weeks before the trial. And legal experts are saying they're doing this move because more arrests are expected. So the reason why they don't want to tip their hand onto who's involved to the Ghislaine people is because more people are going to be brought down, they believe, before her trial starts. So that's a hopeful thing. I know it may not look good to be like, evidence not being turned over, it's being kept a secret, but I actually think that this is a good thing because more people are going to get arrested.
Bring them down, baby.
Can you take a guess as to what Howard Stern is going to be paid per year?
This is obscene. I actually know the answer. and
Okay,
it's
you know the
obscene.
answer, so then you can't say, oh, you know what? You probably both know the answer. Janine, do you know the answer?
I don't know the answer. I'll take a guess.
Okay, take a guess.
Between 15 and 20 million?
Keep going.
More?
It's a
Oh,
smidge-
wait.
It's a
Hold on.
smidge higher
I'm going
than
to change
that.
my answer.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say
Are you looking it up right now?
150 million? No, I'm thinking. It takes me a while.
All right, I'll tell you about it right after I tell you about Hero Soap Company. This is the best soap company that I know of. This is the best soap that I have ever used. They use fresh ingredients. I feel like I'm selling a food product because it feels like that. Fresh ingredients.
Don't eat the soap.
No chemicals, no preservatives, no parabens, which could cause bad things, actually. And that's in a lot of major production soaps that are in the country right now. Actually, somebody else sent me another bar. I will say this for another day. Some other place sent me a bar of soap and was like, do you want to try our soap? No.
Whoa.
No, I don't want to try your soap. I got the last soap I ever need. Hero Soap Company. Link in the description below. Head on over there and grab a bar of soap. If you buy a bar of soap, they'll send a bar of soap to a troop in active duty right now. And then part of the proceeds from your purchase goes to help build homes for veterans so that they can enter into a mortgage-free home. One less thing to worry about after they fought for our country. It's truly,
What more could you ask for?
extraordinary. Yeah. Let me put the barcode up on the screen here. So if you're watching and you have your phone near you, open up your camera on your phone and just stick it up there and you'll get the link right to their website. And you can save 20% on a subscription with the promo code Anthony. So keep that in mind too. Promo code Anthony, you save 20% off on a subscription. You can get 1, 2, 3 bars of soap a month. You can get 1 bar of soap a month for 3 months, 4 months, 5, whatever it is. You customize your own plan and you can get this extraordinary soap. I opened up the Peppermint and Cool. That's been my go-to. I keep using those, and it makes my bathroom smell like a spa, which is
Whoa.
quite lovely.
Which is what you need.
Yeah, so support the
I say
podcast and support Hero Soap Company.
Next show, you got to broadcast from the bathroom.
I think I might do that.
Do it.
Yes. Let freedom clean. Visit our link over at for Hero Soap Company. You can also, if you're not able to click on it right now, you can visit our banner at anthonyonair.com, our own website. So, new deal imminent with SiriusXM. Howard Stern, $120 million
Oh, I say 150.
a year. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's insanity.
For how many years?
So I believe this one is going to be, I think 6 or 7 years they're talking about.
Holy cow.
Yeah, which is pretty surprising because he's 66.
I was going to say, oh, he's 66?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
He doesn't seem, he seems younger. He seems like he's in his 50s.
Seems very young.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. He seems very, very young. I think he's one of these young at heart sort of guys. So,
Yeah, he's not a frail, fragile person.
No. I mean,
You
he's
know,
very frail,
he's-
but
Oh, he's skinny, yeah, but he's not, he's very vocal and he seems active, so that's good. So, hey, if he can go another 6-7 years on the radio, good for him. But 120 million.
So, a couple things to know here. When he signed his first deal, they rumored it to be around $500 million for 5 years, so $100 million a year. Basically, he has to pay his whole entire staff out of that. So it's not like he's pocketing a check for that much money. He's got to pay Robin and Fred and the writers and the TV guys and all. So he's got he's got like 100. I'm just saying.
This is my violin. This is me playing a violin.
I'm not doing it for a sympathy play for Howard. I'm just saying he's still making a good chunk of change, but it's not like he's pocketing $100 million.
Right.
He's spending that money. I mean, that adds up. Health insurance and all that stuff. He's his own company essentially. So he's paying a lot of that money out, for for his staff, and he's
So
got
he's not getting 120. His show is getting 120 million.
right. So, but his staff is about 100. He's probably over 100 people deep
Yeah.
for staff, I would say.
Yeah, but it's not like they're paying $1 million a person. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robin gets a big chunk, and Fred probably gets a big chunk.
So
they get it down from there.
Yeah, they get a big chunk. Baba Booey is a multi-million-dollar producer. You know, he's been doing it for a long time. He's well into the millions. Surprisingly,
I bet Howard walks away with like 50 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I would say less than that.
Would
You think?
Yeah, I would.
Before taxes?
Yeah, before taxes, I would probably say maybe in the 40, 45, maybe 30, like
Right.
upper 30s, low 40s. You're close, but I think less than that, 50. I think he's got a lot of expenses. It's a lot. He's the limo guy. What's his name? He's the
Ronnie.
You know, yeah, he does security and is part of it. Like there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? $1 million, maybe?
No, he pays more than $1 million then to them, definitely.
No, I don't
know.
I don't know if Ron
divvying up, but so he could take like 70 million and pay everybody. You think, or
Right.
It's got to be. You think he could do that? Well, he's got to give Robin a big chunk.
I would say.
Yeah. I'd say she'd say 60 million.
How much?
I'd say she makes 60 million a year.
60 million?
I do.
That's
I
half
think so.
the amount.
No, that's
That's exactly half of the whole thing.
All right, that's how much I would like for her to make. How about that?
That'd be great.
No, I think she's good for 10, 15.
10, 20.
Yeah. I think he's
so.
I think he's very kind to her and Fred, who have been with him from the and Gary.
Yeah.
And Baba Booey, yeah.
Yeah, who have been there from the beginning.
Fa.
But weirdly,
Oh.
so this was sort of a known thing now, but while Artie was there, he was only making 800,000.
That's it.
Which is kind of low for.
Probably because he didn't want him to spend it on drugs. So yeah, I get it.
Could have been.
Well, you could still spend 800,000 on drugs.
That's true.
Which he did.
How long ago was he there? Right, exactly.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was during first contract. But what they thought was, I think, I don't know if they overthought that first contract, that it was a little blown out of proportion, the 500 million. And I think a lot of it was in stock too, and not all necessarily cash.
Yeah.
Then he signed a second deal, and this was right around the time that I got to hang with him for a couple of days. He came and did a thing with me, and he told me.
Pick up this name here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Pick up the name. There you go.
But this is my only little insight to this. He told me that because he said to me, he goes, "I just signed." He actually, I think he told us before it was announced.
Public.
But it wasn't that big of a deal, though. He's like, I just signed. He goes, he was kind of like, what am I going to do? I love doing it. They like having me. He goes, they gave me 3 days a week. This is when he went, because in the beginning he did 4. Now he only does 3
now he's
days
only
a week.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think,
he's living the life.
I think they reduced the pay accordingly. Like I think they did. He didn't say anything, but it's kind of assumed that the money dipped a little bit on that renewal. So this is a little surprising to hear that he actually got above and beyond where he was the first time around. You know,
Well, the thing is,
Now,
they know they're going to lose viewers.
they're going to lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus you have to pay extra for his channel. So.
By the way, he is, and nobody will talk about this, but just kind of knowing what I know from people in the business, he's like 80% of Sirius XM's business.
I believe.
why wouldn't he be?
He is a large portion of it. I mean, but that's great for him, but not great for
Not
them.
great for that. No.
Yeah.
No, that's their cash cow. He goes away. That's why they signed him for 7 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's why this one's a little bit longer too, I think. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I mean, if I'm Sirius XM, I got to start developing other people. But people might be wondering, like, why all of a sudden the huge raise? What do you think it is? I got one answer if you guys want to guess.
What is it?
Why the huge raise?
Yeah.
Huge.
I don't know.
Got 2 words for you. Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Joe Rogan changed the game when he signed his deal with Spotify. By the way, this wasn't really made too much of a big deal. It's in a couple of articles. I only heard from somebody I know, so it's not like I have huge insider information because it's in some articles now. But I heard this a couple of months ago. He went and talked to Spotify, which was a good move. It was a good move.
yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Supposedly these
gotta
negotiations
get
have
some
been
leverage.
going on for like a year.
But
And
it didn't work out.
prior to the pandemic, he went to go to Spotify. I would have continued to talk to Spotify. I think Spotify is just super interesting. I mean, could you imagine if Spotify had both Joe Rogan and Howard Stern?
Oh, they'd be insane. That would be that's it.
That would be-
One-stop
that'd be it.
shop.
Plus
It
Anthony
would
on
kill
air.
everybody.
Forget about it.
That's all you need. That's the 3 right there.
Can you? That's the holy triumphant
Triple
right
play.
there.
The triple play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so he went to go talk to them. And you know what I will say? The guy is he is a little bit of a master. He went and took a meeting with them. I don't know if it dragged on for too long. He didn't make SiriusXM feel bad about it, but he did have that discussion. And now here we are all these months later, and he comes out making more than he ever did before.
He's smart.
Which
He knows what he's doing.
which tells me also too, by the way, that Rogan's deal is at least 100 mil and definitely probably north of that.
Yeah.
Man,
Because podcast properties, ironically, are almost a little bit more valuable than even regular radio terrestrial properties, and you could kind of
Really?
throw SiriusXM almost in that same sort of a.
who saw Joe Rogan coming out of nowhere? No,
This guy
stop
who was obsessed with him.
No, when he was starting to jive with everything and kind of lock into place. Yeah, everybody was like, oh, he's going to be big because he's got all these people on. But before that, he was doing UFC and Fear Factor and all that. Like that's what I'm saying. Who saw him coming up to be this huge paid millionaire?
I agree, Frank.
About
then.
9 years ago. So when he was doing Fear Factor, no, I didn't see this coming. No, but towards the end of Fear Factor, I don't even know when the overlap was, but about 9 years ago or so, he was doing the podcast, and so I was listening to it, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, and then he made a deal. Or I forget how it went down, but Rogan's podcast was actually on XM at the time. I don't think they were Sirius XM. And he went on the Opie and Anthony channel. So on the weekends, you could hear the Rogan podcast. That didn't last too long. It kind of disappeared. And I read in an interview later that he was like, they wanted to take my podcast, but they didn't want to pay me for it. They just wanted the exposure. Like they wanted to give me the exposure, but they didn't want to pay me for doing it for them or do a show for them.
That's
or
a bunch
whatever.
of crap.
So when he told Sirius XM or XM at the time or whatever it was to go scratch, and he was just going to do his podcast, I said, this guy, he's got it. He's got the money. He's got something else funding it. All you have to do is keep going, and it'll build and build and build and build. And then one day we're going to get to a point, and by the way, everybody saw this coming, where ad agencies will value podcasts more than terrestrial radio, which we're basically there now. And he's going to come out as a big winner. Now, I didn't see 100 million from Spotify just as a licensing deal coming, but he's been making 30 mil a year doing that podcast for the last 5-6 years.
Oh wow.
They
that much?
They say his last year or two, they don't really know, but before that it was at least $30 million a year, and that's just rough estimates coming from, again, ad agency people. You know?
Hey, you get the numbers that you could charge what you want.
Hell yeah, you can.
He's big. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Huge. Absolutely
great.
huge. So, but ironically, in the weird way, you know, and Rogan will give Stern credit for paving the way, but Rogan definitely scratched Stern's back here in this scenario, because if he doesn't make that huge deal and make Spotify a huge player, there's nowhere else for Stern to go, and that was sort of
That's true.
that was their sort of thing last time around. And he said the same thing. Like he was like, "What was I going to ask for? I asked for less days." He's like, "There's no."
Well, he could have. I feel like Stern could have just as easily did the Rogan thing and had been their horse to back.
He could have.
Yeah. He could have taken the Rogan deal.
He could have. I think he's afraid of podcasting. To be honest with you.
He's got that old mindset.
It's basically the same thing.
No, but Janine's right. Older people, they
can't do it.
They don't get it.
I think they're afraid of the word podcast. They're afraid of it's on the internet. That's a waste of time. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even older people. It's older radio people because they're so like this is the way it is. They don't understand.
It's like a betrayal to do it another way.
Yeah. So, I mean, Frank's worked for some radio companies. I've worked for some radio companies.
Me too,
But we've seen this coming for a really long time. I mean, the writing's been on the wall, and you got some people in that business that are still like, nah, we'll be just fine. Like, it'll be fine. Like, Sirius XM came onto the scene, both Sirius and XM, and they both advertised on radio stations, and regular radio stations took their money to push their product. Like, how stupid can you be? They took it.
That was weird. I always thought, I hear these commercials on regular radio. I'm like, you're promoting the competition.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that made no sense to me.
Even to this day, if you listen to regular radio, you probably hear Audible commercials and Spotify commercials, and they're still doing it. They're still doing it.
Oh, no, it's something different. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah. It's a book. Yeah, well, if they're listening to the book, they're not listening to you.
No.
What's crazy, though, is SiriusXM spent all this money on putting satellites into the,
That's right.
when that is like such an old, there's going to come a time where you're going to get that stuff off of Wi-Fi strictly, and they're not going to bother with stupid satellites anymore. Because that upkeep is just insane to,
It's weird that I don't understand why radio, they're essentially doing podcasts anyway. Just take what they do on the air, turn it into take out the commercial, the songs, the music, and then just put it into a podcast. And you're right there.
It doesn't work that way, though. It doesn't work that way because when I started doing this podcast, it wasn't as popular when it was just remnants of whatever I was doing on the air. When we made this, like here we are just for you, the podcasting audience, the YouTube audience, the Facebook video audience. It's a world of difference. It's a world of difference.
It is different. You're not following the same rules because radio, the rules are stricter, I feel.
They're stricter, but it's all just approach. Like in radio, you got to kind of get it in and done in a certain amount of time. Whereas this, you can have that longer form conversation. It's just nicer. It's just more comfortable. So that's the Howard deal. I think they're going to announce it any moment. It's pretty much imminent. It's leaking out. They're talking about it on the stock market. It's pumping up. It's pumping up Sirius XM stock, which is great for them, and obviously it's good for Howard. The guy's still at the top of his game.
If we told Sirius, we will do it for half that. Just, pay us half of that, and we'll do the same show. We'll do the three of us.
That's it.
We don't have to pay so many people.
I'll ride a Sibian.
What's the problem?
The weird thing.
Jeez, that came out of nowhere.
That took a while for you.
I didn't even hear her.
There's a delay.
I said, I'll ride a Sibian.
Nobody wants to see you ride a Sibian, Janine.
No, they definitely don't.
Frank, on the other hand, though, absolutely.
I might have one hanging behind me, one of these days.
Actually, I would like to see Frank on one of those stupid things.
Yeah, right.
I think that would be hysterical.
I'm going to have to head out.
I'll leave it up to you.
All right.
We have time, go for it.
Bye.
A pleasure, Janine.
Thanks for leaving us with that.
I'm leaving you with that image of me riding a Sibian.
All right, later.
Check me out on OnlyFans. Bye.
All right, there goes Janine. On to her OnlyFans shoot. Very big deal. It's a very big deal.
Good luck to her on that one.
Our last thing here, Frankie C. Oh, yeah. So this is an AI commercial where one of the
This
kids,
is
that was killed in Parkland, came back to do a commercial through artificial intelligence, through AI. Let's get into that. But first, I want to talk about the Anthony on Air store, which is open now and has some of our amazing swag, like logo t-shirts that you can see right there. We got the mugs and everything else. By the way, this is quickly becoming the most popular design that we have. The I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it?
And that was yours, Frank, that you came up with that one day from the Sandler movie, obviously from Billy Madison, allegedly.
Was that mine? Did I come up with that?
Well, you said it to me once after I was explaining something. You were
all
like,
right. Okay.
that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I award you no points. So you can get this on a mug. You can get it on a T-shirt. You can get it on a sweatshirt. So that's one of our designs. Also, another, I think, right up there in popularity is our Spectrum microphone design. And we're working on getting this in other sizes. I know there's a little bit of a sizing issue with this design. We're working on it. We'll figure it out. But grab some swag over at the AnthonyOnAir.com store, which you can get through a link or through AnthonyOnAir.com. Go there and check it out. We got a lot of really, really cool stuff. So I want to get your thoughts on this, and everybody that's listening and watching, tweet at us, write in the comments, whatever, because I don't really know what to think of this. It's a fairly interesting idea. So
It's amazing.
This commercial, and again, I could play it for you in good quality, but we'll get nailed for copyright. So I have to play it through my phone. But I'll put a link in, the description on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, so you can get like a clear view of it if you'd like. But essentially, this ad starts with the parents of this child who was killed. So let me hold this up for you and play a smidge.
Yeah, they're basically explaining why they
Two
did
years
the ad.
ago, our beautiful son Joaquin was shot and killed at Parkland. Every day I think about him and what his last moments must have been like.
Meanwhile, every day, nearly 100 more families lose someone they love to gun violence.
Okay, you get it. We don't have to drag it on. You understand it, right? That's how the commercial starts. And then the commercial goes into the actual kid who they remade through artificial intelligence. He comes on
Yeah,
the
it's a
screen.
deep fake, it's called.
Right.
Yo, it's me. It's Guac. I've been gone for 2 years and nothing's changed, bro. People are still getting killed by guns. What is that?
And again, I'm not going to drag it out. Again, you can watch it. You can watch it if you want. Again, the link will be in the description.
Yeah.
But essentially, they built. I mean, just look at. I'll bring this closer here for you. I mean, it looks.
And even before in the ad, the mother even says it's hard for her to watch it, but obviously the parents both feel that it's worth it to spread the message.
Yeah.
That they're spreading, which is good.
By the way,
my opinion.
Now let me say this: I'm not criticizing the parents. I would never do that to those two people. I think whatever they need to go through is fine with me.
Absolutely.
But somebody had to come up with this before they got to the parents. And I guess my question is this inappropriate? Because the tech side of me, I'm like, this is kind of awesome. Like the fact that they were able to use AI with pictures of this kid, voice whatever, I guess from his old recordings or whatever, and bring him kind of back. That's amazing. That is really cool, and I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. And then on the other side,
what they did was they had a kid that kind of matched his physical appearance, and they mapped his face. The Guac, I think his name was.
Yeah, his name is Joaquin, but his nickname
was Guac.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So they matched his face onto the actor, I guess, and I don't know how closely the voice matches, but apparently it's close enough to be scary close. You know, it's pretty accurate according to the parents, at least. I don't know the deceased, but
Yeah, I assume that they used old samples to like pitch the new voice to the level that it had to be
To match
make
it.
to match
Right.
as good as they could. But again, like, so there's another side of me that's kind of like a little freaked out and a little like, I don't know if this really is a good thing, if this is really appropriate, you know, because the odd thing here, Frank, to be honest with you, the odd thing here is, you know, if I lost a loved one, forget children, I can't even imagine that. So let's just forget that for a second. But if you lost a loved one, and you could virtually recreate them, I don't know if that's healthy, but let's say we're pretending that it's wonderful. I don't know if I would then say, you know what Aunt Terry would have loved to do is filming a Go Out and Vote commercial. That's what she would have just absolutely loved.
well,
Like-
I think there's differences. I mean, he is talking about something that took his life. You know, he's not talking about, you know, save the whales. He's talking about gun violence, something that happened. He said, I can't talk about it anymore because I'm no longer here.
Right.
So this is something, it's not like he's, you know, promoting Pringles or something. He's doing something that, you know, that directly affected his life and ended his life. So yeah, it's
So
I
it's
mean,
a it's a heavy
it's gonna
topic.
glitch
It's
down a
not
second.
it's not Pringles. It's a heavy topic. I get
it's
it.
definitely a heavy topic. It's
Yeah.
definitely, you know, and it's you know, a cause that I'm sure his parents, ever since that tragedy happened, have been vocal about, have been, you know, with other parents about, and found that they were getting close to nowhere with it.
Right.
So after 2 years of frustration, I'm sure someone came to them. It only happened two ways. Either someone came to them or they went to someone, and this idea formed. Deep fakes are out there, you know, so it's possible to do. And I gotta tell you, it's if you're gonna get a message across, this is I feel like an effective way to do it, only because it's impactful. It's so
But okay, is it
not jarring, I guess is the word. I don't know, attention grabbing.
is it impactful, or is it a little kind of ridiculous? Like, do you find it like a little like, does it miss the mark and a little absurd? Because like, here's my thought, right? If I want to sell this idea of we haven't done a thing about gun violence and we got to get that out there, I think mom and dad are good enough for me. Like, you don't have to go to this extreme level to
Why not?
convey this message.
What if it's not hurting anybody? I mean, it's an extreme message. It is. That's an extreme action that the parents took.
Because again, you're trying
But
to
it's-
convince now. You're trying to. You're not trying to convince people that are in favor of better gun control in the country. They're already in favor.
You're trying to talk to the people that are in favor of whatever, you know, guns or
Leaving
everybody's
everything
right,
as is.
no matter what.
Right. How do they react to it? Are they going to just be like? I feel like they're going to be like, this is utterly ridiculous that people would go to this crazy length to kind of put this message out there.
Yeah, but if 100% of the people said that, then I could see your point. But if there's even the slightest chance that their message would change 1% of the people that see it, then they've took another step forward, you know, with their message.
Right. But did they though, or would it just showing a picture of this beautiful young boy and the fact that he's not here anymore with voiceover would do the same kind of thing?
The thing is, that's been a thing for a long time, and nothing's changed. Like the actor, or I don't even know how to refer to Guac in the commercial, says, I've been gone for 2 years. and nothing's
Nothing's
changed.
changed. Yeah.
No matter how many pictures you put up of the deceased, of people affected by it, their families, not one thing. I think there was a couple of regulations that were passed, but nothing huge, nothing, life changing for anybody.
Yeah. No, it was a national conversation for a little while there. I remember President Trump had some meetings with some Congress people and whatever, and then it fell to the
And then it
wayside
goes
like
away.
it usually does. Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it happened. Unfortunately, it goes from a tragedy, and then everybody's talking about it, and they want change, they want change, they want change. A couple weeks go by, it dies down, and then nobody's talking about it anymore until, unfortunately, the next tragedy.
Yeah, because I'm one of these people that always wants us to be at our best. You know, I want
Totally.
us to always strive to be at our best, and I don't know if we're at our best with that per se. Whereas, like,
With what? With the commercial or with
no, with where we are at with some of the semi-automatic weapons and things of that nature, and mental
we're not at
health
our best.
care. Yeah, I just think overall, without taking people's Second Amendment rights away, we could probably be doing a better job. But it seems like people just want to shift this conversation into you're taking away my Second Amendment, or you're not. Like, I just don't think it's a black and white conversation, which a lot of people want to just push you into. In fact, as we're saying this,
Right.
I'm sure there's somebody in the comments right now or somebody tweeting us
And
going, "How could you say
entitled
this?"
to how they think. That's up to them.
And it's
Again.
I recognize I understand the power of the Second Amendment. I just feel, and I think it should stay. I just feel like we could maybe fine tune everything a little bit, including the mental health
That's all we're
aspect.
saying.
And
I think that's all that side is saying.
yeah,
Is that we're not trying to take everything away. It's an amendment, and amendments change over the years. They evolve. People add things, people change the wording. That's why, there's over 24 of these. They change. People add stuff that they have to. That's what makes them amendments to the Constitution.
it's the beauty of our country, the ability to change a little bit. So now I don't own a weapon. I don't own a gun. Frank, you don't own a gun, correct?
Maybe. I don't want to give that away. No, I don't know.
We have several friends that do own guns, and every one of our gun owning friends have all said the same thing to us. Like, I don't see the harm in fine tuning this thing. And so, and by the way, most gun people that I talk to, they're kind of like the same way. So I don't understand this big, huge fight, but I think it's part of a whole other huge fight. So I don't want to get into that. I want to talk about this. I wonder to myself, is this healthy? Like, are we opening up Pandora's box here by doing something like this? Because where does it stop? Where do we go from here? Like, I made the joke about my aunt, pushing Pringles, but we're talking about this because it's kind of a big idea. If I did let them get my dead aunt to push Pringles, I bet you that would be a massive story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also, I think he was a minor, and those are his parents giving the permission. So I think, within reason, there has to be some kind of regulations for those things.
Is there? But I feel like, how far away are we from Frank Sinatra literally walking into frame and and pushing a vodka?
That would be up to his estate. You can't stop it if that's what they wanted to do.
But it's kind of creepy. But also with this deep fake stuff, like, are we at an unhealthy? Like, is this unhealthy? Like, this mother, obviously, she suffered a great loss, and this is sort of one of her things that she's trying to not let it happen to any other parent, which I admire and I can appreciate. And so she's going to this length but she feels like this is worth doing, which I get. But is this for her mental health? Is this a healthy thing, knowing that, like, she can, like, watch her son? Like, to me, that's gotta screw with your psyche a little bit and mess you up a little bit.
I don't know, but maybe it's just different enough that she can look at it and say, I don't know.
She could look at it and say what?
That she could look at it and say, well, it's not him. It's not him.
Okay. how
it's you know what I mean.
I guess my question is how far away are we from this? That this is the first time we've ever seen something like this, really, because this deep fake thing is relatively new. How far away are we from this to when somebody that you know dies, you just upload their picture to a website, and now you can
And you could just keep chatting with them, and
yeah,
like nothing happened.
like nothing
Yeah.
happened. How far away are we from that?
I don't think we're far at all.
Because it seems creepy and bizarre, but I'm telling you right now, there'll be
50, 100 years from now,
there'll be some young Silicon Valley buck sitting in front of some angel investor going, here it is. Here's the algorithm. I built it. Everybody
Could
can
be.
upload their picture. They can upload a voicemail or whatever, and then suddenly you can be talking to, Aunt Terry again, and it'll be like she was never gone.
Well, it's funny you mentioned it because I watched Social Dilemma.
You did? Don't say anything. We have to save that for a
Yes.
specific episode, but go ahead.
Okay, because I was going to bring up a point
Don't.
with it.
Don't.
Don't?
I want that to be
Right.
Social Dilemma review has got to be a separate podcast. I'm so glad you watched
right.
it though.
I did.
Friday episode? Should it be the Friday episode?
When else?
Okay, maybe the next episode will be the Social Dilemma discussion. Did you see the movie Ready Player One?
Yes.
Okay. This to me is that from this
No.
to that,
I think it's different.
I can see it.
That's more virtual reality and putting yourself in a virtual world. What you're talking about with deep fake and stuff like that is like there's a movie. Oh, who was it? I think it was Keanu Reeves, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
where or either Keanu Reeves or Tom Cruise, something like that. He puts his mind into a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And after he's dead, he's still kind of, I didn't see the movie, but he's still kind of an active person that talks to everybody and is still kind of in charge of stuff. So it's transferring data from a person to a computer.
Yeah, because
That's different.
like you see a movie like that years ago and you go, oh, this is so futuristic and crazy. But now you can start connecting the dots and you can start seeing the lines of when do people die? And will people ever die? If we can get to this, will people ever truly then die?
Yes, of course they will. I mean, but people right now, people live on in pictures and movies and home movies and stuff like that. It's just going to be, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just saying it's going to be a different way to keep their memory alive, even if it's way extreme.
Yeah, I mean it's true. It's just a different way to keep their memory alive. It's a bit more advanced way to keep their memory alive. But I feel it feels
I mean, once
weird.
your physical body is gone, that's when you die, and then anything after that in this world is going to be just a photo of them or a living photo of them.
Yeah, but again, I can connect the dots between this and upload a picture or a couple of videos of Aunt Terry, and we'll build you, fill out this questionnaire of Aunt Terry.
Have you ever seen the TV show? It's a cartoon, but it's made by The Simpsons, Futurama.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Okay, so basically, he's frozen, comes back, unfreezes 1,000 years from now, in the year 3000. And one of the episodes, he goes online and he has a big crush on Lucy Liu. That's his celebrity crush.
Okay.
And his friends and everybody he works with says, well, we could just go down to the store and get you a Lucy Liu robot. And they go to the store and they plug in to a basic robot. They plug in the memory and the looks of everything of Lucy Liu, and boom, Lucy Liu's now a robot, and now she's attracted to the main character, and that's the whole thing. So it's like I feel like that's 1,000 years from now, and I feel like we're inching closer to that.
Way closer, because again, I can connect the dots from like I can upload a picture and I can talk to Aunt Terry. You know, like Aunt Terry at first will probably just say some crude messages like, "Hi, sweetie, how are you?" and "How is everything?" to then putting on the Oculus goggles and then friggin' walking around Aunt Terry's house and she's serving you tea and and it's Ready Player One and you don't know the difference between the real and
Well, that's Ready Player One. They knew the difference. It was they put on a thing, they were playing the game, and But if it comes to the point where we don't know the difference, that's where I feel like where it's extremely dangerous.
Well, I mean, we're already kind of doing it now where we put on these huge goggles. And if you look at Ready Player One, right, one of the things was they were selling these suits so that if somebody touched your arm, you put the suit on and you could actually feel them touching your arm and you could feel, and there were different goggles and so it kind of, it's really strange to say, but it feels like, I know, and I'm a big proponent of the phone. I'm not one of these fearing, phone people, but it feels like this eventual marriage between human and machine is like, I just feel like it's coming. It's on its way to where
is it a marriage, or is it computer surpassing human?
I don't know. I don't know, because they're already talking about. I was reading this interesting article about the phone because Elon Musk is starting to experiment with the brain. He's putting chips into pigs' brains,
excellent,
and all this stuff, right?
Jeez.
And and here's the thing, as with all things, and this is kind of what crosses into that social dilemma conversation. As with all things, the intentions always start off so good. Like guac in this commercial, mom and dad, their intentions are so good, but things evolve and change, and then other people want to get in on it, and then eventually it goes like, holy cow. But so what Elon is trying to do is, for people who are paralyzed or whatever, he thinks that through this stimulation, he can get people back up and running again using their fingers and everything. But if you do that, then you're thinking, how far away are you? Because what's funny is,
well, that's where law needs to come in, and sort of put a regulation on stuff. That's where, that's like with an automobile. Yeah, the automobile's great. It gets us from A to B, but what's to stop people from building their own super-powered rocket automobile that goes to 1,000,000 miles an hour?
Government regulations, yes.
Law.
True. But like they were saying, so in this thing that I was reading, they were saying, what's the difference between what you live your life by the phone? It's got your calendar in it, your appointments, all your contacts. It's your communication device. The main flaw in this is I have to physically press this to make it work, and that's where mistakes.
I love how you see that as a flaw.
No,
I
because
have to move my arm
because
to do this.
No, but this article is saying that's where mistakes can happen. You can put in a wrong address. You could put in the wrong time, right? You think something, your computer, your hard drive thinks something, and it is flawless. And the only time a mistake can occur from getting it to yours to this is you inputting it. It's input. It's just data input. Is all this is. Touching the phone screen is just data input. So it's the only time in this process that something can go wrong. So how long until these people eliminate that problem? You know what I'm saying? And
who's to say that up here is flawless? This isn't flawless.
Well, no, it's not.
What
flawless,
you're thinking? I'm saying like your mistake could start before it even gets to your finger to throw into the phone. You put the wrong address in because you think you got the right address in your head.
True.
There's the mistake there. So there's going to be flaws with almost everything.
But if you look at the process, it's the data input that has the biggest. That's your biggest hole in the security of.
Right, but the data input sometimes is mistaken because you're thinking the number one. You think the number one is right when in reality it should have been a 2.
True.
But you're convinced that it's 1.
But so anyway, my point is that like it feels like, again, this is going to start to get people who are, disabled or paraplegics or whatever, back to, their regular states. And does it then go, well, then we could just put your phone in your head and then you don't, where's my phone, or where's it? You don't have to worry about that anymore. To
That was
us,
another Futurama episode.
us just being in this thing of like, just shoot a chip in there when they're born
I know.
and you're off and running.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, look at 100 years ago. Shut up. I'm sure they said the same thing about radio.
Yes.
I could just put what's to stop me from putting the radio in my car? It's like, and then they did it, and then we all kind of got used to that, and we're fine with it now.
Yeah. I can remember a time where I was like, I want a TV in my bedroom, and my grandfather being like, a TV in your bedroom? Like, how?
One TV for the house is all you need.
And it shouldn't be on all
What
the
if I'm not
time.
in that room.
Yeah. Like that was to my grandfather. I just remember him thinking that was the most absurd thing a child could He thought I was so spoiled with a television in the bed. And by the way, I'm talking back in our day, kids. I'm talking about a 13-inch,
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, this big. You
This
have to maybe
big.
change it with this thing.
This deep and it was this big.
Oh,
in
the
back.
tubes.
Yeah.
All the kids today don't know the horror
Of those old tube TVs.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught me there.
Yeah, but you know what?
Of a tube television, yeah.
They
where,
probably all
where
asked.
all the weight is in the front by the screen, so when you pick it up, you fall over.
Or you put it on the little rickety stand like I did, and one day you come home and it's just face first on the floor.
Yeah, there was no hanging it on the wall. You couldn't hang that on the wall.
No.
And you couldn't put it in the wall because it would get insanely hot, and God forbid it'd start a fire. Yeah, TVs were not perfected.
And also, they don't make walls that thick to begin with, so
They don't.
yeah,
No, they don't.
yeah. But it's funny. Kids probably wanted TV in the kids' room was probably so commonplace in the last few years. Where now, I don't know if kids are even asking for TVs in their room. They probably just want an iPad or a phone or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The TVs aren't. I mean, that's a good point. My nieces are 12 and 14, and they don't have a TV in their room. That's it. They just have their phone or.
That's so strange because you would think that's like a no-brainer thing,
iPad.
but I guess I can see it. I can see kids not wanting TVs in their room anymore.
Why? What are they watching on TV that they're not? That they got their iPad, they hooked into the internet. What are they watching? Channel 5? What the hell are they watching? I'm watching that.
I'm watching Top Chef. They don't give a crap about that stuff.
No.
What about
I gotta watch my stories.
What about stereos? Because I remember when we were kids, getting your own stereo in your room was a huge deal.
This is the stereo now. This is it.
Yeah, right. They probably want a Bluetooth
Everything's
speaker and
in their earpods. That's it. They don't need a stereo to blast out. No one's telling the kids to turn down the radio anymore.
Yeah.
That's 20 years ago.
I saw this thing online once. It was so funny. This guy was going, if I would have told you 50 years ago that instead of buying your kid a car, you instead would give them a bunch of money so that they can call a stranger, a complete and total stranger, and have them pick them up, and they would get in a stranger's car to go somewhere, and you would feel more safe about that. And he's like, you would thought I was crazy. He goes, but that's what every parent is doing with Uber today.
Well, it's a company. Uber's a company that, they wouldn't put my kid in a car with a non-professional. What makes that Uber driver? And nothing against Uber, but these aren't, people on a staff that you hired. You interviewed and you did a background check, right? I don't know.
No, they have background checks.
Do they?
Of course.
Every Uber driver?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
And it works on the rating system. So if you're a really bad person or a bad driver or a not good person, you don't get
that first person, that first driver.
Yeah.
If you're the first customer in that car,
yeah,
there's no way to tell who's rated what. You're the guinea pig.
But it's not even like that anymore because you see all the people's stats, what people have said about them. A lot of them have been doing it
Well,
for a long
again,
time.
the first person.
First person,
If I'm
years
a new
ago,
driver,
yeah.
I'm picking up my first. I'm picking up my first client. I don't have a rating yet.
But now, like you said, your niece. When your niece is 19 and 20, would you rather her drive into the city to go and get some drinks, or would you rather her take an Uber?
Train.
Train.
Get on the train, baby. That's
Yeah,
it.
because
On
there's
track.
no strangers on the train, Frank.
There are cops walking around sometimes. There's no cops in the Uber.
There's a camera recording everything, so if anything goes wrong, you have evidence.
Oh, great. If anything goes wrong, we'll have full documentation of it.
Just saying.
Which is fine. But, the point is you don't want it to go wrong in the first place.
Right. It's not foolproof, but it's better than yeah, sure, honey, take the car out. Go ahead, go drink it with your friends.
I never understood why there aren't cameras inside the train cars.
Got me. Why aren't there? Yeah, why aren't there more?
That's where I feel like a lot of the bad crap happens. Yeah, a lot of stuff happens on the platform, but pickpockets and whatever else is going on.
No, you're right. They got air conditioners in there. Why don't they got a camera in there? It makes total sense. Makes total sense.
How much could one camera get the whole shot of the train? Come on.
I got a camera in like every room in my house right now, so it's not like shouldn't be that difficult to get one into the train.
Put a ring cam up at the front of the train.
Seriously.
Do something.
Yeah. We have major upgrades to do. Don't you feel like all across the board, everywhere? We got a lot of work to just kind of like freshen everything up a little bit.
We're nowhere near where we need to be.
Nowhere near. Yeah.
There's a lot of crap missing that we should have already.
I totally agree. All right, Hero Soap Company, sponsor of this episode. Appreciate all that they do. If you buy a bar of soap, they send a bar to a troop. Somebody who's actively serving in the Army and military right now. And, of course, part of the proceeds go to build homes, mortgage-free homes for veterans. This company was started by a veteran, and their soaps are made here in the USA with no parabens or artificial anything. I'm gonna get that bar of soap that somebody sent me. We're gonna compare the ingredients and see what's what.
That'd be great. I'd love to see it. On camera.
A little side by side. The freshest smelling soap I've ever had. Made my whole bathroom smell like a spa. It was truly amazing. And if you open up your phone's camera and put it at the screen right now, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, it'll take you right to the website where you can save 20% off on a subscription, which is you can order however much soap you want, and they'll give you that soap every single month. Use that promo code Anthony. If not, if you just buy a bar of soap, again, you'll be helping support our podcast as well as our troops that are fighting for us and our veterans that have fought for us. They're a truly incredible company. Thing. Yeah, who make a great product. And I wholly support that. Even their packaging is first class. Yeah, and wonderful. It's waterproof, so when they ship it to you, there's no sort of damage, or the Amazon guy leaves it outside, or UPS guy, whatever, leaves it outside.
Soap melting out everywhere.
Not gonna have a problem whatsoever. Not a problem whatsoever. Let freedom clean. That's what they say, and I love that. Made in the USA. So go support Hero Soap Company. Link in the description, or if you're listening on the podcast side, go to anthonyonair.com and click on the banner. It'll take you right to the page. And again, give the podcast the credit so that we can continue to make the episodes that we make. Anything else there, Frankie C?
No, we're in the middle of the week, and hey, we're getting into fall. Halloween's coming up. Are you excited or not? I know you have a couple of kids. Are they into it?
I'm excited. I'm going trick-or-treating.
You're doing it.
I'm doing it. I'm
Cool.
Look, by me, there's not a ton of people, most people wind up just putting their buckets outside,
Right.
I think the thing to do is you tell people, hey, and I know this is not going to be for everybody, but you say, put a bucket outside, open your door, Look out the screen door. Look out the whatever you got there. Just that you could see the kids. Hey, you guys look great. Blah, blah, take some candy. That's it. Stay a distance. I'm having a little trouble with people staying a distance. Like I just met with somebody that's looking to do something on my house, and I was kind of like, he gave me the elbow thing.
A little too close for comfort.
We don't got to do the elbows. This is get away from me.
Nice wave is fine.
Hey, that's it. Just wave. Hey,
It's a beautiful thing.
how you doing over there? Let's
Go back to the wave. I'm all for the wave.
Yeah. So I think trick or treating can be done responsibly. I understand that in New York City or Chicago and apartment buildings, and that's a whole different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I live in a neighborhood, so for me, it's a little bit easier. We're going to go out, do our few houses here. The kids love it. They like to get dressed. We got some older people in the neighborhood that like to see the kids and stuff, and they get a big thrill out of that. So we're going to do it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be safe, but we're
And I feel like anybody handing out candy, at the very least, wear a mask if you're going to interact with people.
I will not be going near anybody if they're not wearing masks, for sure. To be honest with you, I don't even know how many bells we're going to really ring. It's more so we're going to just walk by, and if there's the candy out, go get the candy. That's kind of
Exactly.
the game plan.
I don't want to, if someone grabs the candy and hands it to you, I mean, that's got to be a red flag too, no?
It's not great. I mean, again, they say it's on things, but it's more just transmissible through the air than anything else.
Right.
So not great. I don't love it. But again, what winds up happening? My kids are so small still that they're just excited for the whole process. And
Yeah, they're just going to be out walking around.
yeah, and they don't wind up touching half of the stuff anyway. We wind up throwing it all out, to be honest with you. Because it's
So are you going to be like cleaning all the candy's going to be obviously in its own wrapping and stuff. Are you going to be like cleaning it up or anything, whatever you give them?
I probably would be inclined to do so. My wife probably would judge me for it. I don't know. We'll see.
Just have like I would say I recommend maybe having like one of those wipes, like not a Clorox,
Yeah, no, they have we
like an
we do have those.
antibacterial wipe or something.
Yeah, that'd probably be the move. Just wipe it off quick and give it to the kid to eat it.
Yeah, just drop it in your hand with the cloth, and then there you go.
Last year, we got back from trick-or-treating. We ordered a pizza. The kids ate a pizza. They each ate like 2 or 3 pieces of candy. They went to bed. That was it. That was literally it. They didn't think about the candy.
They just want to dress up.
Yeah, they want to dress up, and getting the candy is more exciting to my kids at this point than actually eating the candy,
Yeah, that's understandable.
And getting that admiration from the neighbors of like, oh, you look so good, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll be dressing up my dog.
Are you?
I don't know. I haven't figured out. I don't know if she'll be up for it. But if we have something that's comfortable for her, maybe.
Are you gonna
leaning towards not really doing that though?
Are you gonna free that witch you got hanging from your coat rack back there? What's
It looks like a witch, but it's actually an empty. There's no clubs in it. Golf bag.
Nice.
You see, there's some golf balls and things here, but yeah, that is a golf bag, which I am missing. Sorely missing playing golf.
When was the last time you played?
I'd say 2 years ago. I didn't play last summer because I didn't have time. It was a busy summer and stuff. I just didn't get around to it. I played the year before that with my dad, and then I haven't played since. Obviously, this year I didn't get a chance to go out, but I'm looking forward to when I can do that again. I think they're opening courses,
dude. From
and
what I
it's wide open.
understand,
It's outside, and you're not really near anybody for the most part. But still, I'm kind of a little weary.
From what I understand, they are humming the golf courses.
Are they?
Because, like you said, it's one of the activities you could do, safely, and you're outside, and it's been great weather here in the Northeast for the most part.
Yeah, you're not near too many people. Yeah, I wouldn't probably drive a cart. I'd probably walk if I did it.
Yeah, but if you went with your wife or your brother or whatever, somebody that you're in the same household or whatever,
Yeah.
you could do it that way. But yeah, walking, whatever. Plus the gear is a lot more. The gear's so good now. You could go into the dead of winter basically, with good stuff and be warm and play and So
That's true. You want to be comfortable though too. You don't want to be all encumbered by heavy coats and stuff like that. Especially if it's like dead winter and it's like 12 degrees. You don't want to be doing that.
I bet you golf courses will be going strong well into December and January.
Oh, they always are. They always are. If it's snowing, they close. If it's raining, they close. But yeah, if it's a clear day, I feel like they're always open.
Yeah.
It's always golf season.
Yeah. But I think they're going to be like humming. Like, 'cause what are people going to do? You know, what are you going to do?
It's one of the few activities you're out in the big open. You know, you couldn't be further away, you know, from most people.
Yeah. See, this is the weird thing. Like, you know, people in Florida, Texas, California, South California, you're not going to get this. But in the Northeast, like, we're kind of getting into this weird area where we go in and hibernate now. You go to a movie or you go to a concert, or all your activities are indoors, and we can't do them. So we're kind of getting into this weird crunch period of this is going to suck.
Yeah, because this thing started at the end of winter,
right?
Earlier in the year, so we don't know what December, January is going to be like with this stuff.
No, I mean, how many times, like, movie theaters were pretty, I know movies are big summer blockbusters, but going to the movies in the winter, like, hell yeah. And now
that's the thing, but
now we can't.
I mean, some theaters are opening with like limited capacity and stuff like that. Just like airplanes, you know, you're on an airplane, but it's like half full.
Yeah, but Regal, we talked about this last episode. Regal's closed. Regal closed all their cinemas, all their U.S. movie theaters. Second largest theater chain in the country, closed.
Closed, not for good, just closed for
now, because they're not. Yeah. It's not working right now. It just ain't working for them. So,
yeah, we gotta lock it up for a little bit, and then we'll get back to normal.
Man, I hope so, because the more stuff I read, it's like, you know, this comes springtime, we're still going to be in this like same little scenario. It just, to me, it's getting through the winter. It's not being able to do those, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. For me, it's Christmas activities. A lot of that is indoor stuff. The dinners, the shows, the this, the that. And they ain't going to be there this year.
You know what it is? And I don't want to get political, but all I'm saying is we need a rule that tells everybody, listen, we all got to attack this thing together. We can't have everybody doing their own thing. This is the rule. This is how we're going to beat it. If everybody follows it to the T, then, you know, we have a good chance of getting on the other side of this thing. But if everybody's, you know, doing their own thing and not worried about containing this thing, it's just not going to go anywhere. It's not going away. Not going to just disappear.
And this idea of living with it, I think, is very disheartening to people.
We can't do that. It's. I mean, we could do anything. We're strong people, but it's going to be that's a difficult sell, man. It's hard to live with something like this for, you know, how long?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and solve the world's problems on the next episode. We've run out of time here. But maybe the social dilemma episode next time around. We'll see. Still waiting on that document dump. Still very possible. Any kind of day now. It's since the 5th, right. I think, or no, actually today. Today started that
Today's
period.
The 7th.
Yeah, so today starts that first little chance to, let's see when it comes. So now it's kind of like any day now. Let's keep our eyes and ears open for it. So. We got that to talk about. With a lot of great stuff to talk about. So make sure you guys are subscribed on YouTube and you're following on Facebook, and of course you subscribe on whatever podcast network you're using. And if you're on Apple Podcast, rate and review, give it 5 stars. That's always a huge help. Give it a thumbs up if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Always a huge help. And of course, make sure you're subscribed and you're ringing the bell to get those notifications on YouTube.
And talk to us in the comments too. We like talking to you guys.
Love it. Love reading the comments. Don't get to read them that much during the show, but you know, we'll read and type back, of course. Absolutely, we do really love that interaction. So anything else, Frankie C? You good?
I'm good.
Get yourself some hero soap. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening.